Today, we're going to talk about something that holds a lot of people back. We're going to dive into this idea that starting from zero, feeling like you have absolutely nothing, isn't a weakness at all. In fact, as we'll see, it's actually a hidden advantage. Okay, let's get into it.
So, this is the big one, isn't it? This is the question that just stops so many smart, capable people cold before they even take the first step. You might be feeling this exact thing right now. No money in the bank, no connections, no big opportunities just falling out of the sky. So, what do you do then?
And this is the line we tell ourselves. It's the thought that does all the damage. It feels so real, so true. But what we're going to do today is show you exactly why it's a myth, and more importantly, how you can flip that thought completely on its head.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll bust the myth of having nothing. Then, we'll get into the secret advantages of starting from square one. We'll talk about why value comes before money, how to think bigger than just your own effort, what your real assets are, and then we'll wrap it up with 3 simple rules to get you growing, like today.
All right, let's kick things off with our first section, the myth of nothing. See, before we can build anything, we have to tear down the mental wall that's stopping us. We've got to understand the psychology behind why we get so frozen at that starting line.
So, what's really going on when people feel stuck? Honestly, it's not the empty bank account, it's the waiting. We trick ourselves into thinking we're waiting for the right amount of money, or for the perfect moment to magically appear, or for some huge opportunity to just happen. But waiting? That's just a passive way of giving up. The problem isn't a lack of resources, it's a lack of action.
Okay, so if waiting is the problem, how do we get moving? Well, that brings us right into section 2, the advantage of zero. This is where we stop seeing an empty wallet and start seeing it for what it is, a secret weapon.
Now this is where we really flip the script. You think having no money is a weakness? Well, the hidden advantage is you can't take any big financial risks. You're free. Think having no background or reputation is a bad thing? No way! The advantage is you have zero pressure on you. You're free to experiment, to try things, to mess up. And that paralyzing fear of failure? Come on. When you start with zero, you literally have nothing to lose. Your starting point isn't a handicap, it's a launch pad.
This brings us to a really critical mindset shift in section 3, value before money. You've got to understand what the real currency is when you're just starting out, and I'll give you a hint, it's not cash.
This slide right here, this gets to the absolute heart of it. When you're at zero, just forget about chasing a big paycheck. Your one and only job is to get obsessed with understanding what other people find valuable, because money is just a side effect. It always follows real proven value, always.
And that's why this is so important. The goal is momentum, not income. It doesn't matter if your first project pays you $5. The $5 is not the point. The point is you did it. You proved you could deliver something. You got feedback. You started the engine. Every tiny win builds momentum, and momentum is the force that carries you from 0 to 1.
Okay, section 4, thinking beyond your effort. This is how you escape that trap of just trading your time for money, because let's be real, you're always going to run out of time.
Most of us start out by asking this question. It's all about our own 2 hands, right? How much can I do? How can I work to earn this amount? It's a natural starting point, but it's also incredibly limiting.
But here's the question that changes the whole game. You shift your focus from me to we. Instead of just asking, how can I do this one thing, you start asking, how can I connect these different pieces? How can I organize 5 people to create way more value than I ever could alone? You see that shift? You're not just working harder anymore, you're building a system.
Which leads us perfectly into section 5, your most valuable assets. Because if you don't have money, you need to know what incredibly powerful resources you do have, right here, right now.
Forget your bank account. These are your real assets. Your energy to just go for it. Your time, which you can invest in learning or helping somebody. Your ability to just talk to people, to listen, to actually hear what they need. And maybe most importantly, your ability to learn super fast from every single thing you do. This is your starting capital.
And this just nails why your ability to connect is so critical. Relationships are the starting point of every system. Before you build a product, before you offer a service, you have to talk to someone. You have to listen. You have to understand their problems. When you just observe and connect, you start to see how things really work. And that's the first step to building something way bigger than yourself.
So, let's bring this all home in our final section, 3 rules for growth. This is your super simple, actionable plan to take everything we've talked about and actually put it into practice.
Here they are. It's pretty straightforward. Number 1, stop waiting, start small, do something, anything, but start now. Number 2, make learning your number 1 goal. Every little gig is a chance to understand value better, and that's worth more than the tiny paycheck. And number 3, always think beyond your own effort. Think about people, connections, and systems.
The second you start living by those 3 rules, you'll start to grow. But that brings up a really interesting follow-up question. What about the people who aren't starting from zero? What if you actually have a little bit of money, but you still feel completely stuck? Why aren't you growing? Well, that's a whole other story, and it's one we'll get into in our next explainer.